some all right. Hey, how's everybody doing? Great, we're live. We're live. I love it. I love it. We got a bunch of people in the house today, and I'm just ready to get this going. First, before I get into that, let me just let everybody that's listening know there's going to be some people popping in during the show. Maybe some people popping out. Some people, it's Saturday, and a lot of people are very busy, but as many people as we can get on the show, we're going to bring it up. Looks like we got another one popping in now. But I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves. We're going to play a video at some point during the broadcast. And while we do, anybody that's got a question, just throw it over there in the comment section, and we'll try to get to you while the video is playing. Let me go ahead and introduce myself. I'm Shannon Fox, devoted Patriots 2, and I want to thank each and every one of these people for showing up and just supporting my channel and coming on this live for me with me. Just feels great to have some support. Thank you all. I appreciate each and every one of you. Now I'm gonna go ahead and send it off to Matt and let him introduce himself and his channel. And if you don't know this guy, go check him out. Go give him a subscription.
Hey, my name is Matt McWaters, and I have two channels. One, Matt in Exile. The other one is Sweet Home, West Virginia. And mostly what I talk about is the corruption of government and also what's been going on lately when it comes to Ukraine and the truck convoy.
I'm David Kelly, and I mostly do similar stuff, but I usually do it a little bit of a twist, a lot of video. I show a lot of videos and so forth and add commentary and so forth. So check me out, David Kelly.
Romeo. Romeo. I got to get these arrows down.
Romeo.
Backwards.
Romeo.
Yeah.
No.
It's a trip.
Romeo.
It's reversed. I'm Romeo. I am soon to open a channel. I do a blog with my father. Commentary is basically what it's all about trying to help save America from some of the pitfalls our esteemed leader Brandon has got us falling into. And I'll send it over to Don.
Hey, I'm Dawn, and I don't have a channel, but I'm an outspoken patriot. I am a proud daughter of the American Revolutionary War. My ancestors have fought in every war since that war. Interesting note is that my ancestors were actually sold as slaves to Barbados when they got kicked out of England by the king. So,
wow,
that's my backstory. So I'm thankful to live in this country.
All right.
Absolutely. And go ahead and introduce yourself, Don.
Hey, D-O-N, Don. Hi,
the other Don.
Good morning.
The other Don.
Nice to meet you, Don. And
Hey,
good to
Don.
see you, Romeo, virtually. And if you go to Donald Riddell on YouTube, you'll get like a song a day.
Cool.
During I don't want to say the word
Okay.
That thing that's going around.
Yeah. Anyway.
I call it the blue.
Somebody encouraged me to do a song a day, so I started doing that, and I ended up doing 130, 140 songs without repeating. And,
Wow.
And did a live show for just like a charity, and that was my first live show, really. And I haven't done the live thing, but I think I'm heading towards doing that kind of thing. So, and I'm new to the network, so I'm learning a lot.
Aloha, Dennis.
Good morning, Dennis.
All the way from Hawaii. That's awesome. Well, y'all go definitely check out Don's channel and go see what his music's all about. I'm curious myself. I haven't had any opportunity to check out your music, but I love grassroots music, original stuff. That's the best as far as I'm concerned.
It's very. I've seen his channel. It's very folky, music. I like it.
Cool.
It has a little country twang in it and a little Christian twang. You know, it's
Yeah.
good stuff.
A little bit of everything.
Chuck.
Good morning.
There's a question for you, Shannon.
I'm reading them over here. Good morning, everybody. I have a question. How much wood could a woodchuck chuck? I can't even go that route. I don't have the teeth to finish that one.
Hey, Bill. Good morning. All right.
Morning.
All right.
This guy Bill Boyer has been on my channel since probably day 1 or day 2.
Oh, wow.
He looks like his little icon looks like he looks like he should be part of ZZ Top. You know,
Cool.
he got one of these beards that's about big white beard about this long. He looks like Gandalf.
He's a sharp dressed man.
Right. But yeah, I think he actually come over from over on Facebook at one time to my channel, if I remember right.
Oh, cool.
It's cool that you get to meet a lot of these people, whether it be in person or not. You just get to know them over time, having comments with them and things. It's one of the awesome parts of doing this. These channels, as far as I'm concerned, I like the being able to interact with people. It's great. It's inspiring. It makes me want to do what I'm doing. And you feel appreciated when people interact with you behind what you're talking about. People are thankful you brought them a story. That feels great. You know, that's one of the things that keeps me going when TommyTube is beating me up. You know, it's the people. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
Hey,
there's
Gina.
There's Gina.
Good morning, Gina.
Wow. I like it. We got people popping in already. We got 13 people in the chat.
Oh,
great.
there's
That's great.
William.
I want
Hey,
to thank
William.
Dave. Oh,
There we
William.
go.
I want to thank you, Dave, for producing this, setting up the advertisement, and setting up the links and everything. I know that didn't take 5 minutes. I'm sure you spent a lot of time setting this up. And I just want to give you a hand. I mean, thank you very much, sir. Great job. Great job.
All right. Say hello to Jennifer. She'll be dropping in.
Great.
Sweet
Great.
Home, California. Love it.
Jennifer, she's got a great channel, too. She talks a lot about God and how things tie into politics with just everyday life. And I really like that, how she presents her channel.
Fantastic.
If you don't know Jennifer's channel, go check it out. Sweet Home, California. It's a good one.
All right.
Let's see here.
So, what topics are we going to be talking about?
Actually, I figured we get enough of us in here. We'll go ahead and start this video. And like I said, it's
About
pretty
11
long.
minutes long.
Before we start the video, I want to go ahead and let everybody know that's in the comment section. If you want to ask a question in the comment section while this 8 or 10 minute long video is playing, that'd be a great time to do it, and we'll try to interact with you as best we can while we're all listening. So go ahead, Dave, and do what you do.
Okay, let's see.
Everybody's going to appreciate this, and you'll think of the Star Spangled Banner in a different way if you don't know this story. This inspired me. I mean, this is the kind of story.
There was a lawyer once. His name was Francis Scott Key. He penned a song that I'm sure you're aware of. You've seen it. It's in most hymnals throughout our churches. It's called the national anthem. It is our song as an American. We go, however, to a ball game. We stand in our church services and we sing the words of that song, and they float over our minds and our lips, and we don't even realize what we're singing. Most of us have memorized it as a child, but we've never really thought about what it means. Let me tell you a story. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer in Baltimore. The colonies were engaged in vicious conflict with the mother country, Britain. Because of this conflict and the protractedness of it, they had accumulated prisoners on both sides. The American colonies had prisoners and the British had prisoners. And the American government initiated a move. They went to the British and they said, let us negotiate for the release of these prisoners. They said, we want to send a man out to discuss this with you. They were holding the American prisoners in boats about 1,000 yards offshore. And they said, we want to send a man by the name of Francis Scott Key. He will come out and negotiate to see if we can make a mutual exchange. On the appointed day, in a rowboat, he went out to this boat and he negotiated with the British officials. And they reached a conclusion that men could be exchanged on a one-for-one basis. Francis Scott Key, jubilant with the fact that he'd been successful, went down below in the boats, and what he found was a cargo hold full of humanity, men. And he said, men, I've got news for you tonight. You're free. He said, tonight I have negotiated successfully your return to the colonies. He said, you'll be taken out of this boat, out of this filth, out of your chains. As he went back up on board to arrange for their passage to the shore, the admiral came and he said, we have a slight problem. He said, we will still honor our commitment to release these men, but it'll be merely academic after tonight. It won't matter. And Francis Scott Key said, what do you mean? He said, well, Mr. Key, he said, tonight we have laid an ultimatum upon the colonies. Your people will either capitulate and lay down the colors of that flag that you think so much of, or you see that fort right over there, Fort Henry? He said, we're going to remove it from the face of the earth. He said, how are you going to do that? He said, if you will, scan the horizon of the sea. And as he looked, he could see hundreds of little dots. And he said, that's the entire British war fleet. He said, all of the gunpowder, all of the armament is being called upon to demolish that fort. It will be here within striking distance in a matter of about 2.5 hours. He said, the war is over. These men would be free anyway. He said, you can't shell that fort. He said, that's a large fort. He said, it's full of women and children. He says, it's predominantly not a military fort. He said, don't worry about it. They said, we've left them a way out. And he said, what's that? He said, do you see that flag way up on the rampart? He said, we have told them that if they will lower that flag, the shelling will stop immediately. And we'll know that they've surrendered, and you'll now be under British rule. Francis Scott Key went down below and told the men what was about to happen. And they said, how many ships? He said, hundreds. The ships got closer. Francis Scott Key went back up on top and he said, men, I'll shout down to you what's going on as we watch. As twilight began to fall, and as the haze hung over the ocean as it does at sunset, suddenly the British war fleet unleashed. He says the sound was deafening. There were so many guns that there were no reliefs. He said it was absolutely impossible to talk or hear. He said suddenly the sky, although dark, was suddenly lit. And he says from down below, all he could hear the men, the prisoners, saying was, tell us where the flag is. What have they done with the flag? Is the flag still flying over the rampart? Tell us. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into the shelling. Every time the bomb would explode and it would be close to the flag, they could see the flag in the illuminated red glare of that bomb. And Francis Scott Key would report down to the men below, it's still up. It's not down. The admiral came and he said, your people are insane. He said, what's the matter with them? He said, don't they understand this is an impossible situation? Francis Scott Key said he remembered what George Washington had said. He said the thing that sets the American Christian apart from all other people in the world is he will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees.
Yes. Yes.
The admiral said, we have now instructed all of the guns to focus on the rampart to take that flag down. He said, we don't understand something. Our reconnaissance tells us that that flag has been hit directly again and again and again, and yet it's still flying. We don't understand that. But he said, now we're about to bring every gun for the next 3 hours to bear on that point. Francis Scott Key said the barrage was unmerciful. All that he could hear was the men down below praying. The prayer. God, keep that flag flying where we last saw it. Sunrise came. He said there was a heavy mist hanging over the land, but the rampart was tall enough. There stood the flag, completely nondescript, in shreds. The flagpole itself was at a crazy angle, but the flag was still at the top.
Yes.
Francis Scott Key went aboard and immediately went into Fort Henry to see what had happened. And what he'd found had happened was that that flagpole and that flag had suffered repetitious direct hits. And when it had fallen, but men, fathers, who knew what it meant for that flag to be on the ground, although knowing that all of the British guns were trained on it, walked over and held it up humanly until they died. Their bodies were removed and others took their place. Francis Scott Key said what held that flagpole in place at that unusual angle were patriots' bodies. He penned the song, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Or the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that the flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet fly and wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?" The debt was demanded. The price, it was paid.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Yes. Amen. Amen. Whew.
All right.
I think I
That was
need
really
to go
good.
get a tissue. I'll be right back.
All right.
Wow.
Whew. Okay. Catch up on our.
Praise God.
Good morning,
Hallelujah.
Garth.
Whew.
So
I
Don,
don't know what happened.
what'd you think of that video?
Stuck in my eye.
Yeah, you got something in your eye.
I
Yeah.
got something in my eye.
It's called freedom.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Praise God. Powerful.
Exactly. I just thought
Powerful.
I'd share that. That means so much. If you kneel for that flag,
Mm-mm.
no good.
That's right.
You know, having been raised in Baltimore, Maryland, you know, we've toured Fort McHenry on field trips and everything. And I'll tell you, the older I've gotten, the more I've appreciated exactly what our national anthem is, and the people who sacrificed in order for our freedom in that Baltimore harbor. And the Patriots is young boys hiding in trees to alert our fighters of the direction in which the British were coming, and paying a great price. If you ever have an opportunity to look into the backstory behind that season in Baltimore, it's quite remarkable. 12, 13-year-old kids scurrying up trees, being spies for our freedom. That was more important. It's powerful, powerful. And yes, I cried while I was at Fort McHenry a few years ago, and they did this big display of the backstory of Francis Scott Key, everything. And then at the very end, when they played the national anthem, this curtain, this wall of windows, you didn't know it was a wall of windows until all of a sudden the curtain opens while the national anthem is playing, and you see the flag literally flying over the fort. It was beautiful. Everyone cried. Like I'm crying. It was breathtaking, breathtaking. True appreciation. Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely. You know, not a lot of people know this, but for about a year and a half of my life, I lived overseas. I lived in England. I lived on an Air Force base. I was just a kid. I was just an Air Force dependent. You know, my mother's husband, he was a master electrician. He ended up overseas wiring a bunch of bases. And so I went along for the ride. And so that was the only time I've ever really been out of Texas in my life. And I have a lot of military in my family, but I had never really understood what it was all about until I went over there and lived on a base. And you see just the camaraderie and the American spirit when you're living in a country with everybody on the base are your countrymen, but everybody outside the base are from somewhere else, are on their native land. And so you realize right quick where you belong and where you don't belong, and you can intermingle. But in reality, if you're on an Air Force base in England, you understand why you're there. You understand you're an American. You understand what pride's all about and what this flag is all about.
Yes.
Why we stand.
Yes. Yes.
That's why I got my
Dave.
appreciation for the military.
Romeo's backstage.
Oh, God. I didn't see him. Sorry.
Paul
Bring on in here.
Sampson.
There we go.
There he
It's
is.
the microphone.
Are we good, Romeo? How's the speaker going?
I think he wants speakers.
All right, we can hear you now.
Can you
I
guys
think.
hear me? Or?
Perfect.
I can hear you.
So what'd you think of that video, Romeo?
I'm gonna fix it. I did last time.
He might have missed it trying to reboot his computer.
Ah, okay.
I got a video I could show. It's about a flag that's in the convoy. If you want to watch it, the convoy.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, you got a lot of.
Feedback? I'm
Hey.
on the wrong one. All right.
Dave, you're gonna have to hit that video.
Where's it? Oh,
Yeah, I'm not administrating. I left that all up to Dave.
They're not like
I'm learning the StreamYard thing.
I want to hang out. I want to eat good food. I want to have a good time. Is Mike Landis around? Mike Landis, are you here yet? Come on. Mike.
Oh, Mike.
Guess he's not around. I'm not as good at telling the story as Mike is. For those of you that don't know, this flag here was given to him and asked if he would fly it into D.C. This flag was draped over a casket of a World War II vet that died in action in a tank. This flag went home with that soldier. This flag got folded up after his service and had not been unfolded until the other day when they put it on this stand. Now, Mike tried to tell them, no, please keep this. Keep this, it's too important. You can't do this, you can't do this. Mike stressed, this flag is gonna get tattered. It's gonna get tattered going down the road. She said, I don't care. Just do me one favor and bring it back to me after it is gone, because she knew that he would support what we're doing right now and that he would do the very same thing. Mike's coming. He tells the story way better than I do. He tells it way better than I do. So, what's that, Jerry?
Fantastic. What an honor.
He has another flag also from a Vietnam veteran on that truck as well.
Wow. Our truckers are amazing.
I got that footage whenever I was in Ohio, and they had their stop in Cambridge.
There we go.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we lost Romeo again.
That's listening to this channel right now and doesn't know, no, Don. Don, how do you say your last name? Siska?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, you got it.
There you go.
Everybody that doesn't know, Don Siska has played a big part in organizing these trucker convoys. Go ahead and tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I worked on the team, the Georgia team, as they came up through Interstate 85. So they came from Texas, where you are, Texas, and just hit a lot of the towns between Texas and Georgia, so that people in the other communities could be able to participate and be a part of the convoy, right? So you have the larger convoy that came from California straight across through the country, and then you had other convoys acting as those, tributaries feeding into the larger stream and river that were going into the byways to the other communities, so that other people could be a part of this great moment in our history. So I did recon to scout out the overpasses that would be safe for people with children that wanted to come and show their support of our truckers over the overpasses, and which overpass, like where you would park, what was nearby, how to use the bathroom, as far as if you have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old and a 6-year-old that you want to be a part of this, you have to have a way, to navigate, right, your family while you're waiting for the truckers. And, just been a part of one of many volunteers to help with that. And we put together little boxes for the children to color pages of like trucks and stuff like that, and write a note to be able to give to the truckers when they stopped in Brazelton, Georgia, for their overnight stay. And then we had dinner prepared, and just a plethora of volunteers working together to really support our truckers and the truckers, the people driving in their RVs, and the bikers and their cars, just a convoy of patriots driving all kinds of vehicles for the voice of America under that banner of freedom. So that was kind of my part, was recon and organizing.
For anybody that didn't see our interview,
Can you hear me?
Don the other day on this.
It won't be up till Monday. It won't be up till Monday.
You're right.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
They can look forward to it.
Tune in on Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
I had such a great time. Thank you, and William, for having me the other day. It was absolutely fantastic. I had the best time ever.
So for anybody that's keeping up, Monday, 10 o'clock, my time, 10, 11-ish, there's the Fox and Archibald show and Blue Collar Talk, and we have interviews with this lady here. Dawn,
It's 10 o'clock your time, 11 o'clock my time. Your Central, East Coast is 11, Pacific is 8, and Mountain is 9.
We had Don Siska here, a full interview on the Fox and Archibald show, and then on Blue Collar Talk, Matt had a lady named Alicia on who's kind of in the same situation. She was helping
Did the same thing, yeah.
do organizing of the convoy as well. So don't
In
miss
Ohio.
those episodes. They'll be out Monday, bright and early. Go check them out on This Way Network.
Well, and there are more convoys assembling even as we speak to go up to Washington to help bring some relief. And so there's one that's actually leaving from South Carolina. I think it's next week, gathering whosoever will that wants to ride up and be a part of this moment in history and to really stand and continue to bombard members of Congress with what we, the people, want, which is our freedom not only restored in every way, but also to pass legislation to keep the government from infringing on those freedoms, those inalienable rights that we have as patriots, as American citizens. So it's more than just removing mask mandates. It's more than alleviating vax mandates, but it is truly standing for what our God-given rights are and what the Constitution says we, the people, have this right.
Absolutely.
Down the line, most articulate, educated truckers you could possibly imagine, going and just knowing who they are as Americans and being willing to be our voice. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful moment.
Absolutely. I wanted to be a part of the convoy really bad, but it didn't come down into Central Texas. I mean, I think it went through like Amarillo, the Panhandle.
Yeah, it did.
And that's hundreds of miles from me. I mean, Texas is so big.
Texas is very big. Texas, stood on its own there for.
You can drive for many hours in any direction and still be in Texas.
Oh, I have ridden many hours through Texas. I toured with a Christian singing group from my school, from my college, and good heavens, Texas is big, and we were based out of Dallas, so we be on the road for quite a while, and it's like, oh yeah, we're still in Texas, okay.
When I was a kid, I lived in Texas, and we would go to Corpus Christi. I lived in Lubbock, Texas.
Okay.
And it would take 17 hours to get to Corpus Christi, and you're still in the same state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we drove to Galveston. I took my roommate who's from South Dakota, never seen, the beach in her life. And we just did one of those, hey, let's just drive all night and see how far we get. And we'll just sleep on the beach. That was in my early years. But Texas is big and beautiful. Actually, I started competing in pageants in Texas when y'all had asked me that the other day.
Cool. Trying to.
Can you all hear me good or no?
You
I
have,
can hear you.
Fine.
you have a lot of back noise from your speakers. Like we're hearing ourselves through you.
I see we've got it looks like we got Michael trying to get in and William Archibald trying to get in.
How about now? Man.
Yeah, I just lost internet. I lost internet completely.
Hey,
There we go.
There's Mike.
Whoa,
See, Mike.
Michael's flashing there.
Is that any better, bro?
All right.
Can you hear me?
Cleaning his lens.
In
I
and
can
out.
hear you.
Am I coming through?
Hey, Matt, is that any better?
You're coming
playing
through
games.
in waves. Your lips move, but I can't.
you still
hear
got a
what
lot of
you're
back
saying.
noise, Romeo.
You're coming through in waves. Your lips move. I can't hear. Oh my gosh. That's some of the best writing, best music, William, best music. I'm going to talk, and then I'm going to.
Michael for Black Lives
Is
Matter.
that
Do I have your attention now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
William?
All right. Don't worry. I'll
Are
take
you
it.
hiding in the dark, Michael?
Fine.
There we go.
There he is.
What's up, Gina?
Oh, and Gina's here too.
Hey!
Hey, Gina.
Just So this is
Would y'all
the
believe
fan,
I've been
the
trying to
Shannon.
get into it, but
This is the fan
I
in
got here
shock.
at 10:50.
This is the fan in shock show.
Oh, I thought you said something else. I thought you said something else, Michael. I was like, what?
Fan in shocks. Hey, that'd be a good show
It
name.
is a
Fan in
shock.
shock.
I never
with
imagined
Shannon
I'd be on a camera with 8 different people. And I
well,
feel like I'm doing a Zoom call with the international Zoom call with all the leaders of the free world.
let's just maybe,
Except we're the good guys. We're the good guys.
That's
I'm trying
right.
to get my lighting right here, y'all.
Yeah, we're not globalists.
No, we're the good guys. Freedom for all.
Uh-oh,
What's
we
up,
lost
Drake?
Michael again.
This is grassroots.
do I have your
freedom
attention?
right here.
Yes.
There you go.
There's no way to silence this.
I got
group.
mine
There's
on, too.
no way to
Oh,
silence
there
this
you
group.
go. I love it.
I have an
love
announcement.
it.
I have an announcement. I have an announcement.
Now,
All right. I'm taking.
go ahead, Michael.
I'm commandeering the stage. Everybody, mute yourselves.
Oh, you got a Trumpy bear, for the love of God.
Hey, we got Jennifer! Yay!
I love it. I love it. Let's see. How'd I do? I love it.
Hello.
Love your bear, William. Love your bear.
I have 4 minutes.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Don.
With all the crazy stuff going on, it's a nice thing to hold on to, isn't it?
Go ahead, Michael.
Michael's trying to say
Everybody,
something.
mute yourselves. Everybody, mute yourselves, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have 4 minutes left.
I love it.
No, I can't stay. So,
Oh.
Shannon Fox is he is who he says he is, a devoted patriot, and it is an honor for me to know him, for me to be in the same planet, in the same country, to have seen him face to face and have walked around somewhere in his neck of the woods. All right, we took a stroll. I got to know him and his wife, and I'm a better person because you are my friend. So I'm going to start with that.
Beautiful.
Here's my other thing. You guys schedule this conflicting with a show that I do every Saturday morning at 8. So 8:30 is always a better time to schedule things any day of the week. Stay away from Sundays. You are forbidden from scheduling things on Sundays. I forbid you on This Way Network. Do it on your own platforms, whatever you want to do, but on This Way Network, don't schedule anything on Sundays. I have a Sunday 8 a.m., and that's the only thing right now on Sundays. There. Doing a little business on the Shannon Fox show here. I love you guys. I'm grateful for every single one of you, and I want every single one of you to continue to thrive and grow and flourish, because that's the way God designed you. That's what God has in store. So just enjoy it every second of every day. Thank you for inviting me. I just have to say, Romeo, hey boy, good to see you. Really close friend of mine. And I'm just going to say, I made the phone call that you were telling me to make. So I did it, and we're going to be talking in a meeting. You're going to see some people, more volunteers coming, you guys. It's good news. It's exciting. And Romeo's been working behind the scenes. He's always part of what's going on. And Don Ziska, I've only heard. I haven't yet listened. And I mean, I was in the room before I came in. I was listening to you talk. So I'm grateful that you are a friend of this group of people, because I look forward to everybody's making stuff. Everybody's just launching out, and I'm honored to be a part and be included and involved. There, I'm done pontificating. As you were, make sure you watch my show every day in the morning at 8 a.m. It's Bible.
8 a.m.
Bible every morning, Monday through Sunday.
Fantastic.
Sunday through Saturday, whatever, 7 days a week. I pre-record
It's just
Saturday and
played live.
Sunday.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh, look, somebody's advertising for me.
Oh,
Thank you. All right.
Daddy.
I'm gonna mute my mic and listen for a few minutes, and then I gotta duck out. Shannon, I love you.
That was beautiful.
Make us all cry.
You made me get my tissue up again. It's beautiful, straight from the heart.
Unmute your mic. Shannon, unmute it.
Can you hear me now? I feel like a commercial. Can you hear me now?
Most definitely.
I was pulling a mime impression. Was it working for you?
Yeah, actions speak louder than words.
Right. I think we have somebody else trying to get in the show, but I think the block is full.
You can do 10.
We're trying to kick you out,
Where?
Mike.
Where
Yeah,
does
we
the 10th
have-
person go?
Later, Mike.
Well, they came in, but
they
they had no video.
I guess
okay.
this is my farewell. It seems to be my
Michael.
farewell.
Michael, lots of love, man. See
My
you.
Hey,
time
Mike.
has been well. I love
Michael.
you, love you all around the circle here.
Thanks for coming in.
Oh boy, I was so honored that
All
to
right.
be involved in a part, and thank you. You can invite me all you want. If I can make it, I'll make it.
All righty.
Awesome.
Thanks for
Hi,
popping
thank you,
in.
Michael. Nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you.
Deal. Later.
So
What's going on, Jennifer?
what's up, Jennifer?
Oh, I'm having an estate
William?
sale, so that's why I couldn't jump in earlier. I had to go see what treasures I could find here and give them new life.
Hey.
Yeah? Are you going to show us some?
Oh, sure. You want to see some? Here, get the minivan open here. It wasn't too much this time around. Sometimes the Karen sales are great, and sometimes they're not so great. But here, let me see. I got a ladder. Can you see the ladder?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. What is that? That is a. Oh, that's a 12-foot stepper, isn't it, or is it 10-foot?
I don't know.
1,
I
2,
think
3,
12,
4, maybe a 5.
12 inches, maybe 5 foot high.
Yeah, 5 foot.
Okay.
And then I got this is a really nice planer. You're an old school.
She went on a tool hunt. That's my kind of trade.
Yeah. My husband loves me for it because I go
yeah.
out and I'm looking for tools.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
You actually do a lot of woodworking, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I remember at Christmas time your channel went down for a little while because you were busy making things for Christmas.
Right.
Yeah. And so
Tell us
right
what
now it's a little bit more of a lull for me. So that's
Tell
why
us-
I can be back on again.
Tell us
And-
what you make.
I make wood signs and at a and also at a Corian I make trays and signs.
Ooh.
Everything is completely customizable. It's a great business model if you're looking for a side hustle. Because the way I do it is I don't actually make stuff until people pay me for it. So I don't.
Ooh, good idea.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be in retail. I used to run a children's consignment store. But my business model was that I actually bought the stuff up front. Well, if I guessed wrong, then I was out and I'd have to liquidate it. Walmart decides to have it on sale, and then I gotta lower my prices. So anyhow, I really like the business.
We used to have
business
a,
model
we have a
now.
lot in common. I used to be a kid.
Used to be a kid.
Hey, I want you guys to notice the weather she's got.
Yeah,
Looks beautiful.
it's really too hot to even wear this. It's like 70. It's going to be 70 degrees out here today.
Oh dear, it's 30. That's freezing.
I-
Yeah, just
I
to make
hate
you guys,
I
just to
hate
make
you.
you guys jealous, taking off the jacket here because I don't need it
It's
anymore.
so cold here.
We're starting a snowstorm right now.
Yeah. We got the 10 inches already.
Oh, I heard
this
that
is
you guys
lovely.
talking about it earlier.
Lovely.
Cool.
Yep. So
I agree with you, Larry. Larry says the last truth channel.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And yes, I agree. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Thank you for putting me in the position to be able to do more than just sit back and listen. I feel like
Yeah.
I feel like I'm growing every day, not just as my channel, but as a person because I put as much time into this as I can. And this is definitely an enlightening experience for me. I'm sure you all know what I'm talking about. It's something about doing this makes you feel more involved. I feel like an activist, and I'm not talking about the type that burned down cities, but I feel like an activist in just the smallest way because I want to fight this propaganda that is all these censorship games that are going on, and that's one of the reasons I jumped into this is just because I was so tired of hearing the lies, and I'm just thankful that I'm not the only one that wants the truth every day. I mean, we're fighting a propaganda war, and there's no doubt about it. And just like William down here, he gets in there every day and tells the truth. He talks about Klaus Q-Tip and everybody, no holds barred. He doesn't mind.
What do you guys think about what's going on with the Ukraine right now? Anybody else worried that we could run into World War III over nothing? Here, let me set it up real quick. just imagine that Russia and China and India decided that they were going to put their military organization and equipment and soldiers on the border of Texas and Mexico. It's the equivalent thing that we're doing with NATO.
Yeah.
Romeo, you're 100% right. I agree with you. I try to explain that to people, and they don't understand. They think that. Go ahead.
The other thing you should be concerned about also is the inflation that's going to come from what's going on now. Like most people don't realize, 25% of grain or wheat comes from Russia and Ukraine. 20% of corn comes from Russia and Ukraine, and 80% of sunflower seeds come from Russia and Ukraine. That means everything's going to go up, including your meat. Because what do they eat come from? Those kind of products. That means everything's going to go up.
They said the fertilizer's about tripled since last year.
Yeah, that's because of oil and gas. That's because of oil and gas. It takes oil and gas to make that.
They said the fertilizer's about tripled last year.
Somebody needs to mute.
Yeah. Oh,
we're getting a lot of feedback.
Wow.
Yeah.
Karen,
okay.
I think William
we
put that in the radio
don't need to end up in all. The one thing I would look at the human.
Boy.
Is that you're breaking up?
Too bad.
That's Romeo.
Romeo.
Oh, okay.
Hey, but real quick, I want to say hi to Karen C. You're muted. Karen was out at the convoy, and she ran into Dawn, and those two made a connection. And so I invited her to come in and say hi as well.
Awesome, awesome.
I like Don's direction.
Yeah.
That's why they put me in the middle.
That's fantastic.
There you go. You're muted.
I want to point out Romeo's dad.
Karen
writes a great article.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Richard Allen.
Yeah, I'm having problems here too.
It's just fantastic. So if there's a way to link up to him.
Oh, I know.
Richard Allen.
Yeah, I'm having problems.
It's just fantastic. So if there's a way to link up to him.
Yes.
I know. Richard Allen.
Karen, is your
Dave?
There's a way to link up to him.
Yes.
Uh-oh, we lost Jim.
Uh-oh.
Dave?
Hey, Matt.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hey, Matt.
Dave, I don't know if you can hear me. I am.
You know something?
I'm not even sure which camera I'm on, my phone or my
You're on the phone.
We can see you on your phone. It looks
computer.
like.
I'm having technical difficulty here.
Hey, Matt, do you know what else that Russia has and several other countries over there that are really important to the growth of food?
What does that mean?
I think it's called potash. You ever heard of that?
Yeah,
It's
potash.
yeah. And they have a large supply of it over there, and there's only it's only accumulated in certain areas, and it's required to help enrich soil, and that's also really big commodity that's going to be a big problem to get.
Yeah, because we're ending trade with Russia.
Yeah, for no reason.
And that's
you know what? I watched Dave's video that he put up the other day when they were doing when Russia was bringing all the documents they had forward, and you watched the United States try their best way to gaslight everybody, which I think they kind of successfully did, because some people believe that. So
yeah,
it's insane.
I don't know what
my
to believe.
point is, to what end? I mean, we basically produce 20 million barrels of oil a day in the United States. We are the top producer of oil in the world.
Well, not right now. It's 11.
Well, we consume 24 million a day barrels of oil. So I don't understand. That you watched the press conference yesterday or the day before, and that Steve Ducey's the only one who asks any real questions, and he's talking to Peppermint Patty, and he's like, he's making the point that Biden is allowing the oil companies leases. And she tried blaming it on the oil companies for not producing. And it's the reality is it isn't a real offer from the Biden administration. There are a wealth a huge wealth of resources that the United States has.
Yep.
We shouldn't be in this position. And my contention in this whole thing is this is being used as a tool to break the back of the middle class by stealing their savings. I've been telling pretty much anyone who will listen for the last 9-10 months, look at Biden's play is to steal the 401ks. They break the middle class and make them dependent on big daddy government. They're going to do their own thinking. And when they do their own thinking, they're going to come to the conclusion, like everybody else in the world, that Brandon is an asshole. Okay, which he is.
Right.
In my mind, anybody who takes payoff from another country is a straight up traitor. Okay, and I'm not afraid to say it. I think I could back that up with actual proof. Okay, that's available to me, and I'm a nobody. But I don't like being in a situation. Okay, this is like the Cuban Missile Crisis on steroids because it's a lot longer, period of time, and we wouldn't necessarily hear that anything was going wrong until it was way too late to do anything about it. And this is how major conflicts get started. Look historically, the longest any empire, the Roman Empire, then in it's 250 years fall apart. Well, and they never fall apart because some outside force attacks them and they fall apart because they break down from within. And I gotta say, you guys, I mean, I don't like what's going on with the Ukraine at all. I don't want talking on that. Okay, and the one thing that I will say in support of Putin is he is the only world leader with any who has refused to accept the Rothschild-based international Great Reset banking system. Okay, he is the one guy who won't accept it, and I believe that is why we are following the policies we're following. Look at NATO didn't even pay us, most of these countries, for the last 50 years. We footed the bill for the whole thing. Don't tell me all of a sudden that NATO is some super strong, super aligned organization, for world peace. They're not. They've been a bunch of freeloaders under the protection of the United States.
They're a front. It's kind of crazy. All the things going on in Ukraine, all the things going on in Russia, all the misinformation in between. You don't know what to believe. Even the conservative sides have got conflicting stories. And so I think we're not getting the truth of the matter. I think this is like the Durham probe. We'll find out later what really happened. And in the meantime, I really don't like reporting too much about it because I could say this. I feel sorry for the people. I feel sorry for the victims. But I don't feel sorry for either one of these leaders. One of them's a socialist and one of them's a communist. And I mean, who do you root for in a situation like that when you don't know the whole
What's
story?
the difference between socialism and communism?
Not much.
Socialism is an economic based, and when it comes to communists, it's an actual political base. The only way you can have communism is have socialism as economic base.
Right.
Yes.
That's just like fascism.
Is defined as a system of government wherein the means of production are owned by the government, and private means of production and private property are owned by the government. Communism takes it to just a little bit different level in that they restrict religious freedoms and they go farther. And
fascism does too.
Yeah, I love how the news and the mainstream media is playing this game right now, where anyone who's a nationalist is being equated with being a fascist. That's such a false equivocation. Guys, it's insanity. Listen, I want the people from Ireland to be pro-Ireland. I want the people from Russia to be pro-Russia. Because you know what? Look at a little bit of game theory. Remember the movie A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe about that guy named John Nash. Well, look at, if you want real players in an actual game, and that's what this is worldwide. It's a system. It's a game. They have to be honest arbiters of their own side. Okay, and what the New World Order, what this Great Reset is there are no sides. That's what they want. There's just the rich and the poor.
And the serfs.
And
The point of this war is actually just to get Putin out of the office, in my opinion.
I agree
After
with you.
completely
Andrew
transformed
said something that really brought to my mind. He said, "I don't know what to believe." You want to know something? I don't know what to believe either.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of
Find out later. What do you think, William? Me and you had a conversation about this yesterday, and you made it. You made a good point when you were talking about there is no good guys in this situation.
Yeah.
And you wonder, is Putin doing what he needs to do because of the possibility of those scientist warehouse things going on over there? You know.
Okay, so my take of it is that Putin is a bad dude, but he wants to be his own bad dude. He doesn't want to get in the group of those bad dudes.
Yes.
I agree.
And,
Straight up.
Here's the deal. He sees that what's happening in Ukraine is the same thing. We got like men putting on women's clothes and everybody taking hormone blockers and dyeing their hair pink and being virtuous and virtue signaling and all this stuff, pronouns and all this. That's all because of the Swords Joros.
I see what you did there.
He's implemented all these policies through the public schools, through a lot of things to make people start behaving.
Well, he's funding people to implement that.
Correct.
Well, okay, right. So but a long story short, what happens is what you'll find out is Putin sees that if he doesn't put a stop to them, that they're going to take over his country as well. Right up under, he doesn't have to be. They don't even have to use him to take over his country. They can just take over his whole administration and put him out. He knows that's what's happening. Plus, he sees that. I think he's found out what Bill Gates has been up to. That's why he's so worried about those biolabs, because he doesn't want that stuff infecting his country, because he wants to be the bad guy in his country. He doesn't want somebody taking his spot.
Hey, you're so on point, William. All those bioweapons labs were there.
They said it was over 100.
Here's the whole point of it, and I know this for a fact. Russia had a bioweapons program that was probably even a little bit better than ours, and we had the best in the world. They don't need anything we've ever made bioweapons wise. They have so much of a stockpile that they'll never use it in a billion years. Okay, they could kill the planet hundreds of thousands of times over. They did not hit those labs because they wanted anything we had there. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard the State Department say.
Yes, I agree.
It was deflection. So that's all it was. Deflection.
What I was going to say. That's the very word I was going to use. This is a smoke and mirrors, deflection. I think a lot of this oil Russia war thing is about somebody conquering somebody else, but it's more than that. The way Biden handled it, I think it's about pointing the finger at somebody else, because when you point the finger at somebody else, you got three fingers pointing back at you. Yeah. And that's what Biden and that's what the whole administration does. Every time they have a problem, they want to go find the root source of the problem instead of solving the problem. And then they blame somebody else with the propagandist lies. They do the whole spin on it. And just the way he handled it, I can't believe anything that's coming out of the White House about this whole.
For a year,
the NATO thing.
Months it's been blame Trump, blame Trump, blame Trump. Now, as of like a week ago, it changed to blame Putin, blame Putin. Listen, Putin ain't had anything to do with any inflation in the United States of America.
Right, Bill. Salty. That makes me salty, Bill.
But the NATO thing that they're using, Article 5, they say it to the public, and so the public thinks, ooh, Article 5, there must be some. Have you guys gone and read that? Because Article 5 actually says that you have to be a NATO member and you have to have something, you have to have a threat going on your soil, which that's not what's happening. Ukraine is not a NATO partner, but I understand the humanitarian part of it. But what bothers me is the way they're manipulating, the rules and the agreements and things that were, put on,
Well, the whole
years ago.
point,
What,
Dave,
1949, something like that.
Yeah, the whole point is this. If this is going to be some kind of a pretext on purpose or on accident, doesn't matter, to get us into a nuclear exchange, that's absolutely unacceptable on every level possible.
I
Because
agree.
you know what? If I'm Putin and my fighter jets and helicopters,
I'm not going. I'm leaving
yeah,
the
well, I
room.
mean, you know what I'm saying? Like if my helicopters and my fighter jets are getting shot down by equipment made in the America and in Switzerland with these new tank killers, at some point I'm gonna get really pissed off.
Yeah. To
Okay.
say we're not getting involved, but we're sending weapons is it's kind of a touchy. How do you say you're not involved if you send weapons and you send planes, but you don't send pilots? I don't guess I've read the Declaration of War and the whole NATO treaties and all that stuff, but I do know that once NATO gets in, then officially all countries are involved. Technically, it's on all the NATO nations. But at the same time, what the United States does doesn't necessarily mean that NATO did it. So I mean, how does that work? Because I mean, is NATO? We're with NATO, but is NATO with us? That's what I would get down to it, because nobody trusts Biden at this point.
Look, everybody that's in NATO are globalists.
I wonder if NATO would back out on us if we just ended up having to get involved.
Listen,
So,
as soon as
did you see the
those
commercial that
missiles would
Putin
start
put together
flying,
for NATO, Matt?
Say what?
Did anybody see that commercial that Putin put together? And it showed all the members of NATO and how woke they were and virtue signaling.
No, I didn't see it.
I'm trying to tell people that no, this was a real commercial. This was a real commercial with real people that were in the NATO, and he and that commercial didn't go very far, so he put it out worldwide. It went. A bunch of people have seen this, and it was all these virtue signaling people, and he's trying to expose what NATO really is. NATO's nothing but a woke ideology for globalization.
Yep.
They're doing the bidding of all like Bezos and Klaus Schwab and all. Those are that's the globalist army right there. And so somehow or another, through unelected ability, they are calling the shots of what our military gets to do.
It's because
that
of the money. It's because of the collection of people like Charles Schwab and the Rothschilds who financed every war for 300 years, both sides of it, by the way. It's because of the power of these billionaires to buy influence. Look at Davos and everything that happens there, and it's cool that between Davos and Charles Schwab and George Soros that they're funding that,
and the Bilderberg Group and the World Economic Forum,
Macron
all together.
Yeah, Macron and Trudeau and all these different world leaders of NATO have went to. Again, it comes down to nationalism being put forward as a bad thing, and that is a bold-faced lie. I want honest players in the game who are for their own country, and insofar as that, I stand behind Putin.
That's why I've tried to say this is a proxy war. You got Ukraine, who's being propped up by the globalists and by NATO, that's led by globalists, and you have Russia, who is being propped up right now. China's helping propping them up, which, in my opinion, what Trump did with China and Russia, that's the only way you can deal with a thug is by punking them. Okay, it's either that or whooping their ass. It's one of them.
Yeah.
And so
you better
either
let
you
them know
punk
that
them,
an ass whipping's next, or
yes,
you're never going to get anywhere.
well, like what he did, he told them, hey, if you invade Ukraine, all those gold turrets you have everywhere, those onion little domes, they're going to be gone. because we're going to blow your ass up in Moscow.
Yeah,
He
told
did
him
the
to hit
same thing
Moscow.
he did the same thing to China.
Yep.
And they didn't try. They didn't do any of the stuff that they've been doing since Biden's been in office. And that's the reason. It's because he punked them.
Listen, I want you to know something. I don't like to say
I gotta take a pee break, but let me show you.
It makes me
I gotta take a pee
sick to say
break, but
that.
let me show you the sign I got yesterday. Can you read that?
I'll buy
Yeah.
back in 5 minutes.
I'll be right back. Go ahead.
I can agree with what Romeo's saying. I don't want to say that I stand behind Putin because he is a bad dude. But I am going to say this much. Sometimes you have to bring your adversaries together and organize. And then this happens all the time in kinetic war. Whenever you have other people that you don't really get along with, but you know that they are against what you're against, and y'all together can fight better. And so all I can say is it's like, you know, I would go hang out with Putin so we could go take out Soros, and after that he'd go to his house and I go to mine, and we'll be cool. We'll just wave at each other when we leave out the driveway. I'm not going to be over there hanging out after that, but right now we have something that we got to do together. And you know, the problem is what Putin's up against is his name is, well, when I say Putin, I have a hard time not to laugh. But anyway, but what Putin's up against is the fact that there are if you lose the people, see, that's what the whole propaganda coming from our side and NATO's side is.
That's
and
exactly right, William. That's what
they're
doing.
trying to get the will of the people on their side. No matter how right I am, if I lose the will of the people in front of me, I can't hit somebody in the face because they're going to get mad at me, even though I was right. I lost the people. You know, that's
they're trying to break Putin from within Russia. They're trying to get Russians to turn against him, is what the strategy is, because he's the only thing standing in the way to aligning all of the world's nuclear powers in the same direction of this global reset, this global one world government. I mean, you guys, I've said it before. Let's look at America over the last 28 years, okay? We had 4 years of Mr. New World Order himself, H.W. Bush. Then we had 8 years of Bill Clinton, okay? And by the way, Bill Clinton gave all of our tech to a guy named Johnny Chang in the 90s, our missile tech, our military tech, and then he pardoned him before he left office. Then we had 8 years of Bush Jr., who we all probably thought was good at the time, but turned out to be a whole piece of shit. Okay, then we had 8 years in
Puerto Rico.
Okay,
you might remember
so how many years is that? That's almost 3 decades. So essentially, we've had a complete turnover in personnel, a biblical generation and a half turnover in personnel in every one of our agencies, in the military, in all of our corporations, and that's how we got to this place that we're in now. All of this isn't they've been playing the long game before we even knew they were playing the long game.
Very true.
Did y'all see what Dennis Stump put in the comment section? Dennis says, President Trump took a lot of money away from the deep state, and now they're getting it back with the gas prices. And this is what we have here, you know.
Well,
and I believe that. I believe that's a big part of it. I believe they're punishing us for wanting something different.
I think I think this is a plan, kind of like if you look at what happened during the 70s, when back in the 70s they had those long boat vehicles you drove everywhere, and then you had the price increase happen on the on oil, and gas went up. What happens? You have a bunch of small little vehicles from Japan that take over, and people are buying them and that's what you're having now, because they're trying to push people to go to not only smaller cars, but to get out of those like Range Rovers and pickup trucks, go into smaller cars, and also electric cars. That's what it's about. It's about demand destruction. That's what they're trying to do, to get rid of all-terrain vehicles as well as pickups. That's what it looks like to me they're trying to do.
I don't know why it is that you see a really little car and a huge person gets out every time. That always trips me out.
I don't know. Seeing those little cars that look like it should have a key on the back that you just kind of twist like a little toy. I don't know how people can drive them at like 60 miles an hour on the interstate, because like they get in an accident, they're done.
I got
You're done.
I got a Kia Soul, and I'm telling you right now, wind hits that son of a gun, I'm all over the place.
It's
Like
crazy.
big gust of wind.
Yeah.
Hey guys, real quick, Karen looks like she might have got her issues all ironed out. Can you hear us, Karen?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me. I was trying to watch the chat on my phone.
Yeah.
Hey, check this out.
Hi,
Karen,
Dawn. Good to see you again.
Good to
How
see
you
you
doing?
too.
So to
Hello,
get out here, I was
everybody.
in here
I've never
earlier.
met everybody except Dave.
Oh, well,
Dave's
that's
awesome.
William.
I know William from YouTube.
Right.
I know Shannon. I know Matt from YouTube. I know Romeo, and I know Michael.
I'll see you in the comments. Karen.
Oh, okay, so you
all
don't
of you
know
from
Dawn.
YouTube, but I'm probably the one that you get warnings for the comments on.
I know. Quit, Will. You're gonna get got. And I'm sitting there. I'm trying to nuke the channel. I just like, I watched Crowder try to get rid of his TikTok, and they won't cancel it. So I was like, well, I'll just try to nuke my channel. I've been putting all kind of stuff out there, and it hasn't. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I know Shannon follows Tom McDonald, and he has a great new album, and he's done it all.
Yes.
He's done it all digitally, and he is fighting now with the ratings, and he's just got a lot going on. He and Adam Calhoun.
Have you seen the newest video he has out?
Yes.
It has a little country theme to it. I love it.
Yes, I do too. I mean, I just love his music. I mean, and at my age, my friends are going, "Why are you listening to rap?"
Yeah, me too.
Because I can, because I want to.
Has a good message.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I think he does a good job of bridging that gap.
he does.
Really
He
good,
really
yeah.
does. I mean, he has a lot of followers that are not quote unquote the cool kids.
Right.
Like me.
Yes, like you.
I like that he reaches people on all different levels. I mean, he's got 65-year-old grandmas listening to him because they like his message.
Yeah,
Then
or
you got
69-year-old people.
And then you got 14-year-old kids that listen to rap and they're going, "What did he just say?"
Yeah.
You know, I think he's fighting the brainwashing with his lyrics.
Absolutely.
And,
I try to make my daughter watch it because I swear she's getting like influenced by what's going on at school and TikTok.
Oh no!
I'm about to delete TikTok off her phone because I'm like, that's starting.
You should have done. Hey, everybody! Today, I want to challenge anybody watching or listening. Get rid of TikTok. Can you do it?
I don't have TikTok.
Oh, my! I don't do TikTok.
Well,
how to do TikTok?
Anybody in the comments,
What
if you got the
is
TikTok, let's see it gone. Because I'm telling you, that TikTok
It's Chinese control over a human mind. That's what TikTok is.
And
That's what I'm
It's even
hearing.
worse than that.
Didn't President Trump have a problem with TikTok?
He tried to shut it down.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Because
They called him a dictator.
TikTok
They
is
did
for
because
people with
of that,
no
but that's not
attention
true, though.
span.
It was just a security issue for our state. In China,
Yes.
the TikTok that's produced in China, like if you go to China, it's called Weibo.
right.
So, and what they do is they don't have propaganda. They don't have TikTok like over here. They don't have people taking off their clothes and all that stuff. They have
No.
people soldering circuit boards together. And when they get,
Right.
and they'll do a TikTok on that, and they get likes and all this, training their people to be smart over there and training
Right.
our people to be demoralized and idiots over here.
Hey, it's indoctrination. Look what China did. We're busy in America, debating how many angels can dance on the head of a pin. Literally, if someone says to me something about their pronouns, I instantly know I want nothing to do with that person. It's to the point where I don't even want to try and convince them how dumb that is.
It's either that or wearing a mask in their vehicle by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I mean,
What
you
the hell
know,
do
if
that?
somebody's wearing a mask. I mean,
Fill up
like
at
in
the
a
pump.
vehicle, what are they
Right.
trying to prevent? Or maybe they're just trying to prevent licking the windshield or something. I don't know.
Those
Hey,
windows
I got
are-
my 13 and 14-year-old, or 14 and 15 now, year-old niece and nephew coming home from school trying to argue that pronouns are okay. We just had this discussion like 3 days ago, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I tried to explain it to them, but the problem is that they're spending 270 hours a year with that bullshit being pumped into their head.
Yeah.
And how many quality hours a day do they get with me? Not even one. They're not my kids. They're my niece and my nephew. They don't get, their parents both work. So like everyone else in America, that's the husband and the wife are both working to make ends meet so that Joe Biden can steal all of the extra income. Look what
Which
he's
is by
done.
design.
And let's talk about an increase in your job, what you're making. But when you figure out the increase, you know, in inflation and the actual cost of things and the devaluation of your money, okay, 40% of the dollars in existence right now today were printed in the last 12 months. 4 out of 10 of the dollars were printed in the last 12 months. So
I saw this one thing: 80% of the dollars today were printed in the last 2 years.
Wow.
I
know
that.
that.
Probably.
Look at how many trillion we spent, man. On the first go around, 2019, 2020, it was like 9 trillion. And if they're telling you it was 9 trillion, it was really 15 trillion.
Yep.
And then they did half of that again. Now, our debt under Bush, when the housing crisis happened, was what, like 10 or 12 trillion or something? They've spent, in my estimation, they've spent somewhere in the low to mid $20 trillion range. Look at that is the way that they break the American middle class.
Absolutely.
They steal your savings by making things cost more, by making your dollar worth less. You realize how close at 30.3 trillion in national deficit? Do you realize how close we are from the dollar being removed as the standard
Oh, yeah.
world currency?
Okay,
And once that
you're
happens,
100%.
you're broke.
Now,
You know, you're
one of the
100% right.
reasons
Wait a
one of the
minute.
reasons the debts went up too is because quantitative easing. That's been going on for about the last 20 years. Now, go ahead, William.
I have to explain something very important to California Jen. She's asking, she says, will somebody please explain Reed? Because, okay, Jen, you have to check out Salty Cracker. If you have not watched Salty Cracker, you are missing out in life. You're not a complete person. You have to watch it.
I agree.
Yes.
Right.
That
That's
fella
awesome.
is sticking America together because he finds all the wins. He has a wonderful delivery behind his message. He's a lot of fun to listen to. When you get done, you're not sad. You're not doomed out. You're full of hope and joy, and it's real. It's not hopium. It's just what's really going on. He finds the wins, and he really
Fantastic.
So, yeah, check out that, and you'll understand the read.
Yeah.
That's right, Bill. Woo! Read.
Shout out to
Yes,
Salty
Bill.
Cracker
Everyone.
anytime.
That's how the liberals go. When Trump got elected, like, oh my God.
Yeah. They just sat there and went, "Wee!" So that's the whole
It's
thing
not
now.
necessarily that they're bad people. They're just stupid.
I don't know. It's like you put the truth in front of them. I mean, somebody said, well, people in Georgia just we don't want to wear a mask is the reason you're following the convoy. No, that's not it. It's much more than that. It's my liberty. It's
Yeah,
it's
I
today
love
a
how when
mask.
that
It's a
coup
matter
was
of
going
control.
on.
Tomorrow they'll be coming saying, your house is too big for you to be living in. So what we're going to do is move you to a studio apartment down the street, and we're going to let somebody have your house.
Literally.
That's the plan.
And I know here, I mean, larger companies are buying out houses
BlackRock.
to turn them into rental homes. And we have an entire subdivision being built 2 miles from where I live, and it's beautiful homes, and it says homes for rent. It's an entire subdivision full of brand new homes for you to rent, not buy, rent. And I know there's a family that was selling their home close to where my son lives, and they got an offer that was, what they were asking, and a company came in and said, we want to buy it, and we'll pay you $20,000 more than what you're asking. And the family said they declined the $20,000 extra cash and sold it to another family because they wanted their home to be owned by a family. And I'll tell you, that's what has to happen in our country, is for us to say, I'm going to choose to follow my convictions of right and wrong rather than the money. And,
Absolutely.
you know, if it means that I've got to not purchase X, Y, and Z in order to stay true to my convictions, then I'm going to do it. This might sting a little, but when I sleep at night, there is peace between my ears. There is peace in my heart because I've not sold myself out. I've not sold out my convictions, and I am doing what is right before God Almighty. And I think that we are seeing that unity in our country, like what y'all were saying earlier about, you know, you got the bad guy, and yeah, you know, like with Putin, what William was sharing, spot on. Of you may have to work with a guy that's the bad guy in order to accomplish a good thing.
We did that in World War II.
The whole, the whole convoy, the whole awakening in our country to defend and protect our freedom are people saying, yeah, I disagree with you on X, Y, and Z. We'll put that aside. Let's work with what we agree, and that's restoring freedom to this amazing country. And what makes America great is that beautiful sacred document called the Constitution that we can hang our hat on, we can put our boots on, and we can march to represent and speak for the weaker vessels in our country and really be that voice of unity, that voice for freedom. And so go ahead, brother.
That's a great statement you made there. I think that would be a great way to wrap up the show. Just after everybody signs off, just let everybody know where your channel's at. But what you just said, everybody needs to stand up for what you believe in, where your moral compass is, what matters to you.
There's more of us.
That's one of the things that makes me appreciate this right here, being with all you great patriots. And we're running out of time here. Dave is hitting me up on the phone telling me this is awful long for a live, but y'all welcome to stick around after the live is off. But we're gonna have to cut this pretty
we got probably 9 minutes, and we'll make it exactly an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah,
I do want to thank everybody for coming on the show today, and thank you for
all
supporting
the
channel.
salties. Woo!
I love it. Thank you. I feel so loved.
You know,
Yeah,
we've been a little bit.
And getting
a
really
little bit vulgar
good response out there from everybody. We thank you for all the comments. It was great. It was kind of hard to keep up with all of it.
I know.
Yeah.
This is awesome, man.
I get to see Karen C's name with the face. You know, when you see somebody in the
Karen,
comment section, you get to know them, but you don't really know them.
Yeah, and I was thinking I named to Karen the good kind because I was getting so much flack.
That's how she introduced herself to me when she interviewed me in Brazelton. She's like, "Hi, I'm Karen, but I'm the good Karen." I was like, I like that. We're gonna get along.
Well, I got
yes, Don. If you want to go up to Maryland, I'm open to it.
All right.
Next week. Trump is in Florence, South Carolina tomorrow. The people I interviewed in Hartwell were going there, so I'm going to try to go to a Trump rally for us and be boots on the ground.
Trump's going to be in Commerce, Georgia, on March 26th.
Wonderful.
For a rally, yeah.
All right.
That's between where I am now and home.
Well, there you go. I don't know where you are now, but hey.
I'm in Boiling Springs, South Carolina.
Okay.
Oh wow, we're not that far.
Really, William? I was wondering where you are. I asked Dave about hitting you up to say, hey, William, want to ride on to Maryland with me when I was almost to the Virginia line the other day?
Yeah, no.
Fantastic.
I have a work schedule of about 60 hours a week, sometimes plus. Yeah, so it's hard. And like, oh my goodness, today I was in Charlotte. You know where Charlotte's at, North Carolina?
Oh yes. I have relatives.
They had a
in
big ham fest up there. I left the house today at 5:30 this morning. Got here at 10:50. Had to fight the phone company to get my service stuff. Like I got 20 gigs, but it slows down after that. I had to say no. I need more. And so I had to get on there. Yeah. I did all that like I got home at 10:50 to here.
Boy, it seems like we had a lot of people on here today. That's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. This is Romeo, you are looking great, by the way. You look amazing. You're kicking ass, man.
He looks he looks wonderful in Dave's living room, doesn't he?
I know.
Romeo, when you get your channel up and running, we'll do the same thing on it.
Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Yeah.
But look, hey, but look,
I haven't started
Romeo,
yet.
Romeo,
I'm just
there's
trying to make sure that YouTube can't associate me with my previous channels that got nuked. You know what I mean? So I'm
Right.
trying to set it up tech right from the beginning because I'd like it to become something.
Do the workaround. Be smarter than the algorithm.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
right. I mean, that's what I try to figure out when I see these people posting in the comments like these negative comments or these hateful comments. I go, why don't you? I just click on their name and I look at their channel and I go, oh, they've got like 2 subscribers. So I just put a comment like, why don't you go to your own channel and make a comment where somebody might care what you think, because we don't.
right, right.
I usually give them a heart. I just like, oh, thank you for the algorithm.
Yeah.
So they send you all messages saying, "Hi, Dave. You have a troll.
Yeah.
None of my business, but you need to
But
nuke
you
that
know,
guy."
because I believe that they have the right to say whatever
I
they
do.
want. I don't
I do
take them
too.
off. I just leave it.
The
know,
only
Dave.
one I'll take
Well-
down is when somebody puts a link to nudie movies. I take those
something.
off.
Well, yeah, something like that. But
Okay.
I've had some where
That's right.
my
Same position,
commenters
William.
actually beat up the troll. I don't have to do it.
I don't
Right,
know
right.
why they're putting links
So,
on
Right.
YouTube
I think-
because I can't ever put a link on YouTube. They won't allow me to put a link. If I put a
I
link,
gotta
can't
pin it.
it's instantly deleted.
Yeah.
I see your comments, Romeo. I get them. I get most of them, I think.
But not links. They won't
not
let me put a link
links.
up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Had
They do that to me, too.
a live show with Dave on my channels. My first live StreamYard live. We was just trying to figure it out. I was just trying to figure it out, and so he's using the administrator and teaching me a little bit about StreamYard. And we did a show on my channel, and had one person in the comments that was getting more and more ugly as it went on. And by the time you get down to the end of the comments, he's arguing with people. And at one point, I just had to delete him because he started hating. He started calling people Trump-loving meth heads. Now, you want to talk about a Trump-loving meth head in my
I'm sure there
comments?
are
I
some
guess
of
I'm going to
those,
act
though.
like YouTube. I'm going to say, you got to go.
There needs to be.
I
a-
don't
there
need
needs-
that.
I just,
I don't
I,
need haters like that.
That's
I
right.
just kind of think on on the scriptural part where it says,
Yeah.
foolish and unwise questions avoid, and then only a fool argues with another fool. So don't be the fool. So I just kind of go, yeah, I'm going to let other people see who they really are and just let it go. Because eventually they end up tripping on their own stuff. And, but it's,
Okay, so we got about 2 minutes, guys.
Yurik that's with us on the chat, thank you so much for saying that. That is right. If they stick around, they'll probably learn something if they listen to us.
Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully.
Hey, Romeo,
Oh, I
when
see
you
that,
do, when
Sweet
you do
Home.
it,
Yes, I've seen that.
we'll
I've
use
seen
my
that, Sweet.
StreamYard because I have a little bit more internet than Dave does. I can push it easier.
I don't know how y'all are seeing the comments. I just see y'all. So I must not have pushed the right button.
Over on the
I have
right-hand
my comments
side,
on my
Dawn,
phone, Don.
There's
Oh, I'm on my, I don't,
the right up on the right equal with the top of the box. There's private chat and comments. See that on the right of
Okay,
your
yeah.
screen?
Oh, thanks, Romeo.
Yeah, just click on
Yeah,
comments.
then you can
and
see
can
everybody
watch
waving
all
hands.
the
Think all,
minutes.
wow.
think all the people coming out here. All the people in the comments are awesome. Gosh, love these people.
Yeah.
Hey, Shannon.
Thank everybody.
Yes.
God,
I've been
This is
saying
great,
Shannon,
thank
I got a
you,
good
but
way to
I've
go
been
out.
seeing them come in.
All right.
Uh-oh. All right, I'm
Hey.
hearing it, Don.
Don, go
Good way to
ahead.
go out.
And Don, I saw your interview with Nina, and it was fabulous. I mean, your
I did
testimony
too.
was just like,
Thank
oh
you.
my gosh, I
agree.
was crying, tears of joy.
Thanks so much.
It was amazing.
Thank you.
It was amazing.
More to come. More to come. Shannon's got a flag behind him, so let's all go out with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh,
All
How's that?
right.
All
amen.
right, that's a good idea. All right,
Perfect.
start it
I
off,
pledge
Shannon.
allegiance to the flag
Flag
of the
of
United
Of the United States of America
and to
and to the republic for
for
which
which
it
it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible,
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 with
liberty
with
and
liberty
justice
and justice
for all.
for all.
That's right.
Amen.
All right.
Amen.
Amen.
God bless
Thank you all so much
America.
for being here. Thank
All
you,
right,
everybody.
guys.
Thank you.
Thanks,
A lot of love to
everybody.
all you people. Thanks, Gina. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, everybody. Woo.
Thanks everybody
thank
for
you,
showing
guys.
up. I appreciate all y'all.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Hey.
What a blessing.
All right.
It was awesome.